What's up, Fight House fans? We are back with another great week. It's me, Jason Sutcliffe, with
Tristan Keddy.
Get ready for this one. We're going to start the show off tonight. We got Eryk Anders fresh off winning the LFA middleweight title over Brendan Allen at LFA 14. Dulani Perry is going to come on. He's going to talk about his victory over David Acosta at LFA 14. Emily Ducote, she's going to come on and talk about welcoming Valerie Letourneau to the Bellator cage. That's going to be a great fight. Macyee Barber is going to come on. She wants to talk about her victory over Etzel Esquivel. It's a great performance. For a debut, you couldn't have asked for a better debut. Andrea Lee is going to come on. She's about to defend her LFA flyweight title. We're going to talk about that. Levi Mowles, he's going to be competing at LFA 16. Really looking forward to that conversation. Super tough guy. Damon Jackson is going to join us, UFC vet. He's making his rebound following the loss to Kevin Aguilar. I feel like we're going to see a much better Damon Jackson. Look forward to that conversation. Jimmy Flick will be joining us tonight. He's got a big mountain to climb in Johnny Bedford at LFA 16, but he's super confident, so we're going to see how that goes. Looking forward to that conversation. Actually, really, he's a super confident guy and a great fighter. So really looking forward to hear what he has to say. And he was like one of the only guys that would take that fight. No one wanted that fight, but he took it. So looking forward to talking to him about that. And we're going to close out the show with Matt Bessette, who's getting ready to headline Dana White's Contender Series against Kurt Holobaugh week 1. We talked to Kurt last week. We found out how he feels. It's time to talk to Matt Bessette and see how he feels about the matchup. Really looking forward to the show. It's a killer lineup. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Eryk Anders on the line. Look forward to the show. Talk to you soon.
49-46 all the way across the board for your winner by unanimous decision and new LFA middleweight champion of the world, Eryk Anders!
What's up, Fight House fans? No better way to kick off our show than with newly crowned LFA middleweight champion Eryk Anders. What's going on, Eryk? Welcome to the show. Congratulations, man.
Man, thanks, brother.
Yeah, man, what a great fight that was. Solid performance, man. I think you shocked a lot of people with the performance on Friday.
Yeah, man. I know that I said that I was going to knock Brendan out in the 3 minutes in the first round, and I truly felt like that. But the one thing I didn't take into account, I think he's a lot tougher than I gave him credit for. So that was a mistake on my part.
You did drop him with a big shot early. It was I think only 2 minutes into the fight. It had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, is this guy going to do it in 3 minutes? Were you surprised when he recovered?
Oh, absolutely. I've hit 7 other people with the shot less small, not as hard as that. And I kind of flexed on the chin. And, I kind of surprised me when he dropped because, he was there, then he wasn't.
Right.
But I've hit, guys in my amateur career and in my professional career with a similar shot. That's pretty much the end of the fight. So, I was really surprised with his ability to recover. And, staying in the fight, man, he won that 5th round. So, at the pace that we were fighting at, I feel like we were fighting at, pretty fast pace. For him to be in there in the 5th round, tells you a little bit about him.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight, man. It was honestly one of the best fights I've seen so far this year. Both you guys just put it all out there. It was incredible to watch. I was thankful for you guys that night, man. It was a great performance. How were your nerves headed into that fight? It was a big fight for you.
After the fight?
No, your nerves headed in. It was a big fight for you.
Man, I try not to get too caught up in the moment, man. I just, keep my eye on the goal and the objective and try to ignore, a lot of people said the winner of this fight is going to the UFC, this, that, and the third, big fight, title fight. But, at the end of the day, none of that means anything if you go out there and lose the fight. So
sure.
I just try to keep that in mind, to go out there, win the fight, and then see what happens after the fight. So, man, my nerves weren't really, an issue, and they never really are. And I just wanted to go in there, and I wanted to finish, but, once again, Brendan's a super tough guy. He was able to stick in there to the end and, had me in trouble at times as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was a lot of good back and forth moments in the fight for sure. What What did you notice about him? Like when he came out and you guys in the first 30 seconds, did you notice anything about what was he showing you that you picked up on in the first 30 seconds? Because you had a good start.
I thought that he would try and maintain distance a little bit more. I didn't expect him to engage takedowns and whatnot. But this is MMA, so you kind of got a plan for everything.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of caught me off guard with that takedown in the first round, but after that, there really weren't no surprises. Just that, he was still in the fight after such a grueling first, second, and third round.
Do you feel like he underestimated your athletic ability, or just your fight IQ?
Absolutely. I'm not sure. I don't know what he was thinking. It kind of almost looks the same in every fight. I think people really underestimate the closing speed and the explosiveness.
Right.
They think they've seen it before with other guys, other fighters who claim to be athletic or who other people say are athletic. But I think in terms of speed, strength, and power, there's no one like me. Who shares my athleticism and attribute in the middleweight division.
It was pretty clear, man. I think it was the first takedown that you scored. It was so quick. You had his feet like above his head. Were you trying to put like an emphatic takedown like that just to send that message?
No, I wouldn't. There's no grudges. There's no I have to do this to prove that.
Right.
The fight. The goal is to go out there, get a win, get a finish, and on to the next one with taking the least amount of damage as possible. His first round, fresh. Early in the first round, he just came off his feet real easy.
Yeah. You did really well.
It wasn't like a set the tone type thing. It wasn't I'm mad at you. It wasn't I'm not trying to plant you on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Get him to the ground, get on top, pound him out was the objective.
And objective completed. You did really well in the grappling exchanges and the scrambles. That was supposed to be his biggest strength in this fight. What did winning the grappling exchanges in the fight do for your confidence?
Man, I feel like my grappling is above par. It's certainly better than anybody in the middleweight division. The only problem is other people haven't seen it.
Right.
So, they say that he's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do that. Just because that's his game, it doesn't mean I'm not capable of. It just means I haven't been put in those positions in my fights for people to have seen it. And to be 100% honest with you, I really didn't fight my best fight at all. So still go out there and get a big victory after 5 rounds, it's a pretty big thing, I guess.
Speaking of, are you saying that's not your best fight? What did you think of your performance as a whole? Like when you critiqued the fight, what did you see in your game that you either really liked or that you weren't happy with?
Man, definitely when I was on the bottom, I think I should be more active on the bottom. Keep it moving. He was making some space for me to get up. I wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities like I'm more than capable of doing. I think the goal was to not let him make space so he can throw punches. So, I approached the bottom game a little bit too cautiously, I feel like. Something to keep in mind for the next one.
Sure. That was a grueling fight. That was a war. How soon do you want to get back training, and when do you want to get back inside the cage?
Usually I'm back training the Monday after the fight. I blocked some of those leg kicks, some of those head kicks with my hands, and my hands are a bit swollen right now. So I'm letting swelling go down. I've been hitting this with just my right hand, and just moving around a little bit, still keeping the cardio up, mid work. Not doing a whole lot of jits. I don't need my hand rolled up on or crunched at all right now. So it's definitely not broken. Just a little soft tissue damage, and once this swelling subsides, I'll be back on the mat rolling and whatnot.
Are you, before, it's all a process, you're taking the fight as they come. Are you starting to get antsy now for that UFC shot? You got the title. Are you starting to feel that?
No, I'm not antsy, man. I don't make these decisions. My job is just go out there and beat the guy in front of me for the organization who sent over the contract. And that's what I plan on doing until I get that shot. And even when I do get that shot, the objective isn't going to change. Whoever it is in front of me, under what banner we're fighting under, is irrelevant. The objective and the goal is still the same: to get in, get out, and take as least amount of damage as possible so I can be ready to go for the next.
Speaking of the next one, it seems like Ian Heinisch is probably the next guy in line because still don't know what's going on with Giles. What do you know about him, and do you feel like that's possibly the next matchup for you?
Man, he just said a little something on Twitter, something about keeping his belt warm. I don't even know who the guy is. Don't know anything about him. But it's whatever. Whoever's name comes across on that contract is who will fight, who will beat, and we'll be on to the next one after that.
Fair enough. How much more do you feel like you need to do to get your shot, or is it just not even a question for you? Doesn't matter.
Man, to be 100% honest with you, I think if I go out there and I finish Brendan Allen, as I said I was going to do, then we'd probably be talking about the UFC at this moment. But, I fought him, went to a decision, and then, so maybe they want to see more. It really doesn't matter to me. Whatever they want to see, I'm willing to show them. So I get my shot.
At 30 years old, you're right in the heart of your prime. How much better do you think you can get? Like, how close to your peak are you?
I don't even think I'm nowhere near the scratch the surface of my full potential. I mean, you got to remember, I didn't get into martial arts until I was 25, so I started from scratch. And I think I've made quite a bit of progress within those 5 years. Golden Gloves champion, Pan Am medalist, blue belt and purple belt, So, I'm making progress in major ways between each fight. I think you can see the progress, just between the John Kirk fight and the Brendan Allen fight. That was just 2 months in between. So, imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years.
One of the things before this fight even happened, I said, when I was talking about this fight, I said one of the things was just your abilities, like your actual natural abilities, your athletic abilities, your explosive strength, your speed, all that stuff. Do you feel like people generally just don't understand what kind of athlete you are?
Yeah, I think that. And I think that they really play my fight IQ really low as well. My chest moves, if you will, really low. I think they think I'm a meathead, just go in there and out-muscle everybody. But it's not even that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't realize how methodical and precise I am with my strikes and my jiu-jitsu, my ground game as well. I hit Brendan a lot and barely got hit myself. And that's kind of how all my fights go. So I think they don't think I have the ring generalship that I have, and they certainly miscalculate my athleticism, the speed, and explosion.
Do you know the one thing that really surprised me the most about your performance was your transitions. You're transitioning from striking to grappling and how quickly that happens. Do you feel like that's one of your strengths? Because I personally feel like that might be even one of your biggest strengths. Is just your ability to close the distance as fast as you do and then change levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, man, I'm a martial artist. I'm not just a striker. I'm not a brawler. I'm not just a wrestler. I'm not just a jiu-jitsu player. I do it all. And in MMA, I think the one who mixes it up the most or has a bigger edge in one area in particular, that's the guy who stands the best chance of winning. Probably not going to go against anybody. My striking is just so much better than, or my wrestling is just so much better than, that I can just get away with doing one of the two. But if I mix it up, keeping guessing them, keeping defending the whole strike zone, fighting off takedowns, it wears them out. Little to no wear on me. It's the best way to fight. And it just really wears them down. So in the later rounds, that's when I can go for the finish if they're available.
Listen, Eryk, I really want to thank you for giving us some of your time, man. Again, it was an incredible performance. Congratulations on getting the middleweight belt. I'll give you a couple seconds here if you want to do some shout-outs, sponsors, teammates, friends, coaches, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours, man. Go for it.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me, man. Sorry for that mixed up a little bit earlier.
No, it's all good, man. These things happen.
Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Eryk Anders, ERYKANDERS. Special shout-out to my sponsors, MedHealth, TAP, Together Assisting People, EW Motion Therapy, Magic Box Conversation Club, Super Saiyan VitaFlow, Geared Up Nutrition, Try One Cryotherapy, and all the people at Spartan Fitness.
Sweet. Thanks a lot for your time, man. I really appreciate it, and look forward to having you on the show again in the future.
I appreciate it, brother.
All right, man. Talk soon. That was such a good fight.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Those two went to battle. Like, the fact that Brendan Allen won the 5th round, like he said, was a testament to how tough that guy is, too.
Yeah.
Because he took a throttling in the early rounds.
You were saying something about earlier before the podcast about his dad talking to him about.
Yeah, his dad is just saying, like, you took him to his limit. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Super classy people.
Yeah, unbelievable. But people are going to have to start respecting guys that come over from football and these super athletes. Look at Matt Maturone on the weekend. Same thing.
Yeah. Any professional sport, man.
Yeah.
People just, I think sometimes people just really lose sight of, like, how good these people are, how athletically gifted they are. Mm-hmm. And it's like they will translate well because that's just what they do. Yeah. They're athletes, super athletes. So they're going to pick up stuff. The guy started at 25.
Yeah.
He's 30, and he's the LFA middleweight champion knocking on the door of the UFC.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just it's that, like, fast twitch, like that thing you train your whole life.
Super powerful guy. And he's super talented, super smart. Yep. You know, so anyway, listen, guys, we got a lot more guests ahead. It's going to be a good night. Next up is the fight god himself, Dulani Perry. Looking forward to that conversation. That's always an interesting one. Stay tuned. I'm sure you'll be entertained. We'll be back.
You know, I feel I dominated him on the round. I dominated him in the fight, first, second round. I did a great job. Maybe the third round I got too cocky. Sometimes people know Dulani gets in the mood, he starts feeling himself. Man, this guy mounted me, man, and I tell you, this was a good mount. But not only the mount, from every position, he has good elbows. I don't know what they're doing at Team Alpha Male, but they got some elbows that will hit you hard. But it don't matter because I'm still undefeated and I'm still a fight god, baby!
All right, Dulani Perry, ladies and gentlemen. Good fight, bud.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with none other than the self-proclaimed fight god himself, Dulani Perry, fresh off his victory at LFA 14 over David Acosta. What's going on, Dulani? Welcome back to the Fight House, man. Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Always good, brother. It could always be a worse day in a worse place. You know what I mean? How's everything? I know you're in Miami, man, celebrating the big fight. How's everything going?
Everything's going good, man. I'm just hanging out, partying, drinking, smoking hookah, eating unhealthy, doing the things I like to do.
Fair enough, man. Is this something that you do after every fight? Is head to Miami? I've noticed you've been there a couple times now.
Oh yeah, after every fight, I usually already got my trip planned. My trip is usually already planned. I'm gonna take my fight. I'm gonna take no damage. I'm gonna get out of there good and go vacay. So this is what I do.
That's it. What's the first thing you do when you land in Miami, man?
Eat.
Yeah. What's up?
You know, before the fights, you doing these heavy diet plans and stuff, eating all healthy and can't drink or nothing like that. So,
Truth, man.
Right after the fight, the first thing I want to do is eat. So I go 60 days. Usually I do everything in 60 days.
Fair enough.
Mayweather said he can beat anybody in 60 days, so I follow the blueprint of the best. So I do everything in 60 days. I diet in 60 days, start my training camp 60 days. So when my 60 days is over, I go to eat and drink alcohol. I love alcohol.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Hey, you know what? Follow the blueprint if the blueprint works, right?
Yes, sir. But he never lost. I follow his blueprint, and I never lost.
Hey, sounds right, man. Sounds right. You had a big fight with David Acosta. How'd you feel about your performance overall?
It was good. It was great. It went exactly how I said it was going to go. It was 15 minutes, and I was going to win the fight. And it went 15 minutes, and I won the fight. I played around with him a little bit. I spoke to him when I was fighting. When I had him on the ground, I spoke to him. I spoke to the fans in the crowd. I spoke to the camera guys. I made jokes. It went exactly how I said it was going to go. 15
one
minutes.
thing, I saw a clip, man, and what did you say? And even the cameraman was kind of laughing at the side of the cage. I seen him with the camera. He could barely compose himself. What were you saying?
I was just telling him that, all of these fighters are the same. They're all easy. None of them are hard to fight. I was telling him, I said, look at me. I said, I'll play with all of these guys. David Acosta's trying to get up. I'm talking to the camera guy. He thought he was going to get up. And then I pulled his leg. I pulled him back down. And I said, see, look, the poor guy can't even get up.
Early on in the fight,
and I said,
sorry, go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, I was saying early on in the fight, you took a right hand that put you on your butt. How hard were you hurt?
No, that didn't hurt me at all. It looked worse than what it was. To be honest, during the fight, I didn't realize how bad it looked.
Right.
Until I got home and I watched it on TV because I recorded on my television.
Yes.
So when I got home, I looked at it. I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "That looked like it hurt."
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt at all. And if you paid attention, as soon as I went to the ground, I controlled the position and I reversed it, and he ended up on bottom, and I ended up on top. This fighting stuff is easy, man. You just gotta know how to play the game. See, he's fighting too hard. You understand? If he followed a blueprint, I can give him a blueprint, and I can turn him into a winner, a hardcore winner. You know, if he's willing to come to me and take some lessons, I can turn that guy to a hardcore winner because he has talent, but he fights too hard. He's still thinking he's in a fight. This is not a fight. This is a sport. I keep telling these guys this, but they're not listening. You know, he's trying to control the position so much. He's worried about punching. He doesn't even understand. I have a whole game plan, and that's why he got swept. If he understands that this is a game and he wasn't looking for the knockout so much, and he was paying attention more of securing the position, he might have held me down, you know, but he don't know no better.
Fair enough.
He's just a mediocre martial artist.
Still, I love you still bringing a little bit of the trash talk. I saw that on social media too, man. You were bringing it. You had a lot of success
If you paid attention, there's a big thing I posted. After the fight, he went to the hospital. I was in a club popping bottles, drinking, having fun. You know, so.
No, yeah, you know what? You did what you said you'd do, man. You made it out, taking very little damage. You had a lot of success on the ground early in the fight. Were you surprised at your ability to control him on the ground?
No, why? He can't beat me nowhere. Not on the feet, not on the ground, nowhere. And I showed both. You know, I showed both. I showed that he can't beat me on the ground, and I showed that he can't beat me on the feet. You know, the fight is 15 minutes. He caught one punch in the first round, and he caught a mount for 2 minutes in the third round. You know, so figure he had 2 minutes in the last round and a punch. Out of 15 minutes, he only had a good. Out of 15 minutes, I had 13 minutes where I beat him.
Were you?
He had me for 2 minutes.
Yeah, in that third round, were you at all frustrated at his mount, at how strong he was on top, and you like not being able to get out right away? Did that frustrate you at all?
I wasn't frustrated because honestly, I wasn't frustrated at all because honestly, if you paid attention, I went for the takedown, right?
Right.
So this is what happens. I beat him up for 2.5 minutes on the feet before I attempted the takedown, right?
Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm not a wrestler. I don't take people down. This is not what I do. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy and a stand-up guy. I'm not the in-between guy. I'm the guy that has good stand-up or good ground game. I don't have the in-between. But I already knew that I was winning the fight. So I said, hey, let me take the chance. There was nothing he could have did at that point that would have won him that fight besides ending the fight. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
He caught the punch in the first round. Cool. After that, I had the whole round.
Yeah.
Second round, I had the whole round. Third round, I had 2.5 minutes until I went for the takedown. It didn't matter what he did. He could have punched me 1,000,000 times. That he already lost the fight. You can't make up in 2 minutes what another fighter has in 13 minutes.
This is true. No, I had you win in the first 2 rounds.
I'm so thinking chess, the mental aspect of the game, the point system. My mind is so much there during the fight that, see what I'm saying? If he's not mentally where I'm at, he'll never be able to beat me, and that's going to go for the rest of these guys too. It's going to take a real strategic fighter to be able to beat me.
You know what? I feel like you're real strategic in everything that you do, even the trash talk and everything like that. Like I noticed, for instance, on I think it was Facebook, where you had a picture with Uriah Faber after the fight, but you took that picture and you were like, "Oh, I whooped his boy so bad, like even he wanted to come and have pictures and stuff." Like, is all that stuff intentional by you? Is all that stuff plotted?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The next morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, Uriah Faber was teaching me how to get out of the mount that his boy had me in.
Oh, okay. Is that something you
10 o'clock
pursue?
in the morning, I was training with Uriah Faber. Where was he? Was he training with Uriah Faber? Because I was training with him 10 in the morning the following day.
Who initiated that? Was that you who had last for the time?
No, my boy Reed.
Okay.
That runs Paradigm.
Okay. Sweet, man. That must have been a good experience.
Hard,
We the best, man. We train with the best.
So what do you want next? What do you want now? You're 3-0. You've you're 4-0. 4-0 now. Yeah, you're 4-0 now.
Yeah.
What do you want next?
I'm ready to go 5-0.
You have anybody in mind?
I don't care. It don't matter who wants it, man. Whoever wants it, they're all the same. They're all gonna be the same. All of them. No matter who they either get. UFC, Bellator. You put me Glory Kickboxing, Lion Muay Thai. Anywhere you put me, I'm gonna beat them. Austin Open, I'm going next month. Austin Open Jiu-Jitsu tournament. I'm going to go get my gold medal there. I'm gonna go win everywhere. Any angle, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna win.
Well, how long are you in Miami for before you head back and get back to Paradigm?
I'm here until to the 10th. I was actually offered a fight July 14th against some guy in Dallas. I forgot his name, but I'm out here partying and stuff. I told him I didn't want to take the fight so soon. I'm already in Miami. I got the call when I was in Miami, so I said I'm not going to take that fight. But the next time y'all have one, just let me know.
Well, while you're in Florida, are you going to be taking any going in and taking any big gyms? Going to get some training done while you're in Florida?
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. I'm going to try to make it to American Top Team. GFT, that's my jiu-jitsu team. I'm going to make it down there. And I'm going to try out some Gracie Barras because I'm a Gracie Barra guy. That's why I originally started learning my jiu-jitsu. So
sweet, man.
I'm going to check out a few of these spots.
Sweet.
And let them know who the fight guard is.
Amen, man. Amen. Listen, I really want to thank you for giving us some of your time and stuff like that, man. I know you're a super busy guy. You want to have a minute here to give any shout outs to coaches, sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to David Acosta for taking that loss like I told him he would take, man. He never had a chance. He didn't have a chance coming in here. I don't got a chance coming out of it. What did I tell you guys? I told you guys how the fight was going to go, and it went exactly how it was going to go. I told you, 15 minutes of hell. That guy had 15 minutes of hell. I made sure he fought the whole 15 minutes. When I had that guy on the ground, I could have knocked him. I could do whatever I want. Just like the last opponent. I was talking to people, though. I let him make it. When I could have been punching him, I wasn't punching him. I was talking to the camera guy. Same thing I did with the last guy, Leomano Martinez, right?
Yeah.
Man, I hope these guys never meet and get to talk because they're gonna find me. These guys are gonna want to kill me, man.
Yeah. You're definitely a character, man. You're gathering more attention every single day. I got all the respect for you, man.
Wait, where's your boy at that was on the call last time?
Which one?
It's two of you guys.
Yeah. My producer, he's over here, man. He pumps away. He's getting me my info, man.
Yeah, he's the guy. He wanted David Acosta to win, right? He's the David Acosta guy.
Oh, pipe up there, Tristan.
I didn't think this was going to happen. I'm on Team Fight God now. Don't worry.
Listen. Make sure I'm your favorite martial artist, man. I'm not going to beat these guys too bad because then the next guy is going to be too scared to step up. So I just got to beat them little by little by little. I got to keep me thinking they could beat me, and I'm always going to show them something new.
Fair enough, man.
I'm just honored you're watching the show.
Yeah, what's funny is he goes, oh man, I wonder how many of these guys actually watch the show, and then you came on, you let them know. I like it. Thanks, Dulani, man. Always a pleasure having you on the show,
yes,
bro.
Sir.
And I look forward to your next fight, man. I hope you're back in there soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks for calling in, bud.
You too.
Later. Well, bud, there's your answer.
That guy's the best.
Dulani watched the show, but he said he called you the David Acosta guy.
It's all right.
You know what? He's a character, man. I really respect all these guys, man. But he's a good character. He's a good dude.
Yeah, man. He keeps winning, and there's nothing. He has the shit talking down pat. Not just that. Just like you said, he's being super strategic and the way he markets himself.
Yeah,
I mean he's got that down pat. So
absolutely, man.
If he just keeps, pointing people, he's gonna do it.
Absolutely. That was funny. Caught me off guard. But listen, stay with us. We got a lot more great guests coming up. We got Emily Ducote next. Look forward to that conversation. She has the honor of welcoming Valerie Letourneau to the Bellator cage. So we'll talk to her about that fight coming up, and we'll see where she stands. Stay with us. We're going to be back. We got a lot of great guests tonight. Talk to you soon. What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with Emily Ducote on the line. How you doing, Emily? Welcome to the Fight House. Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining. how's everything? How's camp going? Your fight's coming up soon. It's fast approaching.
Yes, it's almost 2 weeks on Friday.
Yep.
Camp has been great, and I'm just excited and ready.
Absolutely. You have been given the responsibility of welcoming Valerie Letourneau to the Bellator cage. How do you feel about that matchup?
I'm very excited. I look at it as a huge opportunity, and we've had a long camp. Everything's been planned. It's almost over, so right now we're just ready to go, just kind of cruising until fight week, and that's about it.
Were you expecting to get this fight? What was your reaction when you did get offered the fight?
I wouldn't say I was expecting it, no, but when they announced her signing and all the signing of the new girls, I was thinking maybe we would get one of the new girls.
Mm-hmm. None. I imagine none better than Letourneau. That's probably the best matchup for you as far as like your career in the spotlight, right?
Yeah, I lately haven't been thinking about, this is the biggest fight of my career. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at it as my next fight. That's it. She's experienced. She's very technical, very good, but I'm not going to put too much on her name. It's just my next fight, and very excited for this opportunity.
Definitely. Where do you feel like you're going to have your biggest advantages in this fight?
She's very experienced, very technical. Like I said, I think she's well-rounded. She can go anywhere. I think she would like to stand mostly. So, I'm just going to get in there. Our game plan is to be secure in all aspects of the fight, standing, wrestling, and on the ground. So I don't have a specific game plan. I have to go to this position in the fight. That's not really it. Everything's going to be on point for it.
When you've obviously, I'm sure you've looked at some tape or something of hers. What are you going to have to do really well in order to leave with the W?
Can you say that one more time?
I said I'm sure you've watched some video on her or something, some sort of studying you've done of hers. What are you going to have to do really well to walk out of the cage with the W against Valerie Letourneau?
Okay. Yeah, I've seen her stuff more so when she was actually fighting. Mm-hmm. I like to watch fights and stuff. So before we even knew we were fighting her, I've seen her stuff. And like I said before, I think she loves to strike. So, either beat her striking or, find a different place to beat her. But, nothing specific. We just have everything ready. Stand up ready, wrestling ready, ground ready, anywhere it goes, ready and on point, sharp.
For sure. When I looked at you guys' physical breakdown, and she's got a pretty decent reach advantage on you and height advantage. How are you going to deal with the reach? Because like you said, she likes to strike, she likes to stand. What are you going to have to do to deal with that reach?
She's not the first person that's taller than me that I've fought. Mm-hmm. This weight class, I'm pretty short. So almost everybody that I've fought, at least in Bellator, has been taller. Alima and Katie were only slightly taller, but the other three, much taller. She's tall. Doesn't really change my game plan. It just, stick to what I know, what I do, and I'm not very concerned with the height difference.
When you visualize the fight, how do you see the fight going? How do you see yourself finishing the fight?
I used to have like a game plan and really, I have to take it to the ground or this or that. But as each fight comes and goes, I learn a lot more about myself, and I'm ready for everything. I don't have to take it down. I don't have to, rush to the ground. I'm secure in my striking, secure in everything. So, if I can't take her down or whatnot, I'll stand and bang it out. It really doesn't matter to me. But yeah, a lot of my fights, I like to get it to the ground. But like right. I said, this camp has been amazing. and I'm just ready to show that, my stand-up as well as my ground is okay and is ready.
Absolutely. This is a very high-profile fight for you. Valerie's got a lot of hype coming behind her. What do you want next after this fight? Where do you think this fight can send you?
I know a lot of people are, thinking maybe title implications. I honestly am not thinking about that at all. I think I'm only thinking at this fight. I think if you think too far ahead, I got to worry about this girl and this girl, you get overwhelmed. So I really only focus one fight at a time. I'm not thinking about anybody else, not thinking about the title. I'm sure later this year that will be announced with Alima versus somebody, but not really concerned if it's me or, if Valerie were to win, I'm sure they would put her, but my focus is for this fight only.
True. You're a Bellator vet. You've had 5 fights now in the Bellator cage, I believe. At this point, how does it feel to watch the women's divisions getting such a promotional push from your perspective? What's it like to see that the women's division growing so strong in Bellator?
I'm really excited about it. It means that they're realizing it's a good division to put effort into. Mm-hmm. I think that all the girls already signed. I mean, it's been pretty recent. Most of the girls have signed the last year. So it's pretty recent. And now with the new 6 girls, I think they're realizing, hey, this is a really great division. Let's make it grow. Let's put all the matchups. Almost every card has a 125 fight now, with only a few, left out. But almost every card has 1 or 2. And obviously was announced that there will be a title sometime, late this year, whatever. So they're growing it. I love it. It means they're putting effort. They're seeing that there's talent. All the girls signed with Bellator right now are very talented, very good girls. So I'm just very excited. I want to see who everyone's matched up with, all the new girls, like that.
At just 23 years old, you have a lifetime left in this sport. What's your timetable like for you to obviously you're pursuing a title? I'm sure that's why you're in it. Do you have a timetable set for yourself for when you want to get yourself there, when you see yourself as a champion?
Honestly, how me and my coach are, we're very focused on just fighting a lot. Every time I get in the cage, I feel like I learn a big lesson, whether or not I win or lose. And so my main goal is to fight often, to fight the best girls in the division, because I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to evolve. And so I don't have a timetable as far as, the belt or whatnot. I just want to fight. I want to fight a lot. I want to fight everybody. I want to learn, and I want to, see where this division goes. Who's matched up? Who fights Alima for the title? All of it. I just very excited about this division.
Do you feel like with a dominant win, you could get a rematch with Alima?
I get asked that a lot, honestly, about a rematch with Alima. Mm-hmm. I don't really have it on my mind. Some people, I lost, I want to get my rematch, I want to get that win back. Maybe one day I think we'll get matched up again, later on the road, but I'm not really obsessed with it at the moment. Like I said, there's so many other girls, right now or after this fight or whatnot, I'm not looking, to do that right away. Like I said, one day maybe, if she gets the belt or, I beat a few more people and we get matched up, that's totally fine with me. But as far as, like a fast rematch or something like that, not very interested. There's so many girls, especially with the new 6 girls, and everybody's different style, different everything. So I just kind of want to see, how I'm matched up with everybody else.
Absolutely. This is a fight I'm really looking forward to. I think it's a good stylistic matchup. I wish you all the luck in the fight. I really want to thank you for coming and giving us some of your time today. I know you're busy. Fight's fast approaching. I'll quickly give you a minute here. Do you want to do any shout-outs, any sponsors, coaches, teams, anything like that? Go ahead. I'll give you the floor.
Okay, thank you. Yes, my team, American Top Team, Oklahoma City, Rival Boxing, Oklahoma City. I've got a bunch of teammates that have been amazing this whole camp. My coach, Giuliano, Nikki, Danny, and TJ. Got some sponsors, Century Martial Arts, ASN, Supplement Store, Frowit is my apparel, got Express Cryo, Rio Massages, and everything just really helps me out during this camp, and I'm just excited and ready to go.
Awesome. Again, I want to thank you for giving us some of your time, and we'll all be tuned in. It's one I'm looking forward to. I wish you all the luck in the world, and thanks again. Hopefully we can have you back on the show.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, you have a great night, okay? I'm looking forward to it.
She's got a tough challenge on her hands for sure.
Letourneau's tall. She's
record.
long.
She's only lost to Joanna, champion, Joanne Calderwood, and then Vivian Pereira, who's.
Well, she's 6. Her record's not so great, but.
No, but it's gonna be a tough task for sure.
She's definitely got an experience that she's fought the tougher competition.
Yeah. We'll see that maybe.
But Ducote went the distance with Elma Leigh McFarlane. So yeah, I don't know. She's tough. So we'll see. It's a good fight. It's stylistically a good matchup. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing if Ducote can get the fight to the ground, or if Letourneau's going to be able to keep it on the feet and pick her apart. Yeah. Should be a classic grappler versus striker, right?
Yep.
Looking forward to it. Everybody stay with us. We're going to be back with Macyee Barber, who put on one hell of a performance at LFA 14 this past weekend on Friday. She finished Itzel Esquivel in first round, devastating fashion. The armbar was ridiculous. We're going to talk to her about that. We're going to see what she's up to. So stay with us. We're going to be right back. Thanks a lot.
Here comes some elbows. And then she'd already cut her up with the elbows on the lips, at least, I think. And you can see Esquivel trying to get her head out of there. Barber adjusts, get the right leg in there, and just keeps cranking. It's already dislocated.
Torquing it.
You got to understand, when an elbow goes this far, there's ligaments and tendons that sound like they're guitar strings snapping in your hands. It's not a pleasant feeling, but obviously Barber could care less.
Yeah.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with Macyee Barber, fresh off her destruction of Itzel Esquivel at LFA 14. What's going on, Macyee? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Fight House.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Things kind of went exactly as you said they were going to go.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that must have been a good feeling for you. How was your debut? How were you feeling as you're heading out there? What were your nerves like?
Surprisingly, I had no nerves whatsoever. It was kind of crazy. I was talking to my coaches about that. I'm like, I don't feel nervous. I don't have butterflies. And I'm like, what's wrong? But I felt great. Like, I was just excited. It was pretty cool. I was pretty calm and collected and the whole time, and it was really good.
It was really surprising to me, actually, how composed you seemed when you got in there, because you don't even have like a ton of amateur experience to draw from. Like, you're pretty stepping right into this kind of and just taking it as it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I was just going to
say, I feel pretty comfortable. I mean, I've sparred a lot. So, I mean, even with just one amateur fight and now the one pro fight, I mean, I don't feel like it's an uncomfortable position right now.
Do you think that draw relates back to the quality of your sparring partners? Because I know you spent some time at Jackson Wink. You've been training with some of them over there. You've had some real high-level training. Do you think that's kind of where that comfort comes from?
Yeah, probably, because there's a lot of nerves that, when I first stepped into the cage sparring against certain girls, I definitely had those nerves, and to feel like I can compete against them and have good rounds with them, I mean, that's definitely a confidence booster. So I feel like I get a lot more comfortable when I go against other opponents.
Definitely. The fight started, and I personally was really surprised at how Itzel came out. She blitzed you. She kind of came right at you. Were you at all surprised by that, how aggressive she was?
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I was ready for anything. Mm-hmm. Like I said, anything can happen, and anything, it's not just one opponent. I train for all of them. I don't just focus on, she's going to come at me conservative. She's going to be aggressive. It doesn't really affect me. I mean, it's, however it happens, it happens, and you just got to kind of go with whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely. And you definitely did. You adapted very quickly, and you were very successful right from the start. Tell me, did it surprise you at all that you were able to dominate her the way you did? Like, it seemed like you were in charge kind of right from the get-go.
I don't like to feel, sound too cocky or confident, but I train, all the time. I'm constantly learning and growing, and I go hard rounds, So to be able to dominate against, another girl or another opponent, I mean, that's what I try to do in all of them. The less damage I take, the better I have in my career. So,
I wouldn't call you cocky, but I would say you're very confident, which also surprises me. Where did you draw this confidence from? Like I said, you don't have a world of experience. You kind of step in this and you're just going with it. But you have an undeniable confidence about you. Like, even when I mean, no one knows this, but even when I messaged you and I said, like, hey, good luck in the fight or whatever, you told me luck was for the untrained. So you have a strong confidence about you. Where do you draw that from?
Probably from my parents. My dad's a very, very confident person. He doesn't take crap from anyone, and I'm that way. I don't feel like I'm in a sport. I don't do stuff just to try it out. If I'm going to go at something, I'm going to go all the way. And you kind of have to have the belief in yourself. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, it's like my coach says, you're always going to be your own cheerleader. If you're not the one that's always on your own team, then who is? Because there's always going to be people who are doubting you. Always going to be people who say, you're not ready for something, or who aren't sure about it. And if you aren't confident in yourself, then who is? You got to be the one that's always confident in yourself. So, and I understand, I'm new to this game and I'm new to the sport. Considering, 19 years old and already as a professional, I mean, that's new.
Sure.
But when you train for so long, I mean, the technical side of it is not new to me. It's just the level that I'm at that's new. The competition. But again, you got to be confident in your own abilities, and that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. I know you called right after the fight. You went back to talking about the Mackenzie Dern fight. I know that's a fight that you want. You lobbied to get it before the fight with Itzel. Do you feel like that's within reach now with this performance?
For sure. I mean, if that's something that they were offering to Itzel, then that's something that I know for a fact. All the opponents that she's faced and dominated. I mean, I dominated her in a way that there's no doubt in my mind that I could dominate every single opponent that she had coming up behind her and opponent that she had offered to her. However, I know that Mackenzie Dern just did have knee surgery, so I don't think that's a possible fight for her. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, she's going to be in rehab or whatever she has going on. So I don't know if that's going to be very likely. And also, if she's going to come back, I don't know. If she does decide to continue fighting MMA, then yeah, that's definitely a fight that I would want. But right now, because of her surgery, I don't see how that's even a possibility.
Is that something you'd consider? I mean, she's a huge name. She's got a lot of hype. Is that something you would consider waiting for if you knew she was coming back? Or do you want to be active long before that?
I definitely want to fight before that. I actually already took a fight. I have September 8th is the next one that they offered me, and I said for sure. So I have about 8-9 weeks until that fight, and it'll be in my own state of Colorado. So we'll be at the First Bank Center is what I've been offered. I don't know who the opponent is, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna wait. My career is not based off of a fight against Mackenzie Dern. Sure. Obviously, yes, I would love to fight her because I feel like I'm way more, like I said, against Enzo, I'm more well-rounded in terms of the game. Mackenzie Dern has a great jiu-jitsu game. I mean, there's no doubt denying that, but her transition from MMA and jiu-jitsu is completely different. You can't learn jiu-jitsu and MMA, they don't mix well. So you need to have a good transition between your striking game and your ground game, and I just don't see that as strong of a transition for her. So I think that's kind of hard because she has to think about, if she's going to do the grappling or if she's going to strike. She can't mix them together. She has to think about one or the other. And I mean, that's definitely a fight that I would want. But if that fight doesn't happen, then, you know, it's not something that I'm going to be like, I have to have that fight. That's going to make my career. No, I'm going to go to the top, whether it's with a fight against Mackenzie Dern or not. You know, that's not going to be a fight that makes my name well known. Sure. My name is going to get well known because of how hard I train and how hard I work and how I'm willing to take a fight against whoever they offer me. You know, I'm not going to be turning down fights. I'm going to fight as much as I can and as hard as I can. And I'm going to have wins. I'm going to have losses, but I'm going to try to keep the damage down, and I'm going to try to stay consistent. You know, that's what people like to see. That's what sells, is consistency, you know.
Definitely. You know, yeah, there's definitely a bright future for you. You know, you're clearly skilled. You dominated that fight in a way that I honestly I didn't foresee that the way you did dominate it. So it was super
I don't
impressive.
think many people did.
No, definitely not. But one thing I thought was really interesting was after the fight, I saw you posted a picture with Uriah Faber, who was obviously at the fight, and I think a lot of people got pictures with Uriah that night. But you had posted on social media that you wanted to train with him. You were interested in training with Team Alpha Male. Is that something you're going to pursue?
No, I mean, I've traveled down there. I went down to Team Alpha Male just to train with them, because back when Danny Castillo used to train with Dwayne Ludwig, I mean, I met him and I trained with him and Joseph Benavides and TJ, and I got to train with all those guys, and they offered to me. They're like, hey, come down and train with us, you know. And I talked to Uriah. I didn't get to see him when I went down to California, so when I went down and met him in Houston, he said to stop by sometime, you know, come down and train with them. Which, you know, to train with Uriah Faber, that would be great. Mm-hmm. And I would love to learn from him. But right now, for a team and for a camp, I'm going to stick with Jackson Wink, just because I know that my coaches are there. And I have a really special bond, I think, with Brandon Gibson and Greg Jackson and Coach Wink, Mike Winklejohn. So, I mean, I feel comfortable there. And there's a lot of girls, you know, we have a lot of 115ers, a lot of female fighters out of Jackson Wink, and to get rounds with them is really good for me. So I definitely see myself staying with Jackson Wink, but training, you know, if I was to travel out to California, then I would love to get some training in with him.
Do you have a timeline for yourself for when you'd like to be in the UFC or when you'd like to make that move to the main stage?
Like I said in my last interview, I would love, you know, I'm ready anytime. There's girls in there in the UFC that honestly, I feel like they're just fillers for a card. You know, they're not great. They're not terrible. I mean, they're in the UFC, you know, but there's definitely some talent there that's not at a level that I'm at. You know, I'm at a level where I can hang with the girls in the top 10. I guarantee it. You know, I can compete. It's just they have to uncover, you know, my skill. They have to realize it, because no one knew my skill until this fight. You know, no one knew that I was going to come out and dominate like that. And that's something that, you know, you can't just go off of what someone says. You have to see it. And for the first time, people saw it. You know, they saw my skills. So I guarantee that I'm going to make it to the UFC, whether it's, you know, in a month, in a year. I'm going to make it there, because I have the talent, I have the skills, and I have exactly what they're looking for. So it's just a matter of time for me. I don't care when. Obviously, I would prefer to start younger, because the sooner I can start, the sooner I can make my career, the sooner I can get to the top.
Absolutely. Listen, I really want to thank you for coming and giving us a few moments of your time. You've been really accessible to us, and I really appreciate that from you. I'll give you a second here. Do you have any shout-outs you want to do? Any sponsors or coaches or teammates or anything you want to shout out? The floor is yours. Go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said the last time, all my sponsors, I'm getting quite a list, so I'm not going to name them all off, but thank you to all my sponsors, and then just for the most part, my coaches and my family, Jackson Wink and Trials MMA. Sweet.
Listen, I want to thank you again. I know things get busy and hectic, and I'm sure you're on your downtime now, trying to relax a little bit. So thank you, and I hope I can't wait till your fight in September. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, Macyee.
You too.
Bye. I was super impressed with her performance against Itzel.
Yeah, the last time she was on the show, she was mentioning how TJ Dillashaw said that she could hang with anybody, like hang with these know, most of the people in the UFC, and I was a little skeptical, but
it's got to be a huge confidence boost to hear a guy like TJ tell you that, though.
No, but it's a difference between like him telling you that and then you seeing, like she just said, he saw it. You know what I mean? People were finally able to.
Oh
understand.
man, she dominated Itzel, completely dominated in every facet of the game. She outstruck her, she outgrappled her.
Yeah.
She really put on a solid performance, and I'm really looking forward to see what she can do.
Yeah.
I think she could be a star in the making. We'll see. Only time will tell. She's only 19 too.
That's amazing.
So time is going to tell. We're going to see. Everyone stay with us. We're going to be right back with Andrea Lee, who will be defending her LFA flyweight title against Davina Maceille. We'll see how that goes, and we're going to talk to her about it. So stay with us. We'll be back in a minute.
Kevin Champion has it 29-28. Your winner by split decision, Andrea KGB Lee!
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with none other than LFA flyweight champion Andrea Lee, who's set to defend her title at LFA 15 against Davina Maceille.
Hello.
How you doing, Andrea? Welcome.
Doing great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us again. It's really great to have you back on the show. How's camp? How's everything going?
Oh, everything's going good.
Man, this must seem like one really big camp for you. This is like going to be your fourth fight in 7 months. It must just feel like one big long camp at this point.
Oh, yes. Exactly that. Never ending.
I imagine it is. It's amazing considering you had the layoff, and you said at the start of the year that you wanted to come back like gangbusters and make people forget about that little leave of absence you had to take. And it seems as though you're doing just that. You've had a great start to the year. How excited are you for this fight?
What's that? What'd you say? How am I preparing for this fight?
No, how excited are you for this fight against Davina?
Oh, I'm stoked. So excited. I think it's going to be a fun, exciting fight. And, she's going to be really tough. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and also a brown belt in judo. So I'm excited.
The one thing is I don't think she's fought anybody that's quite on your level. Like when I look at her opponent list and stuff, and I feel like you've had the tougher competition in your career, clearly.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like that's going to be a factor in the fight, just your experience with dealing with high-level competition?
I think so. And also, I've been more active than she has.
Yeah.
She'll fight and then she'll be off for a whole year or something like that. And, I'm very active. Even in my downtime, whenever I was suspended last year, I was still very active, Also, I think the only person that she ever fought with a name was Claudia Gadella, and she got submitted in the first round by her. But I think it could definitely, play a huge factor, that she's never fought anybody really on the level of the fighters that I have fought. So
when you see somebody and you see that their competition isn't necessarily up to par with like what you've been facing, do you feel like it just comes down to a level, like a compete level, like she won't be able to match your compete level?
Well, I'm not really sure. I just don't ever really underestimate anyone. I could look at her stats, I could look at her record, and it looks good. And even though the opponents that she's faced haven't been really, really tough opponents or even experienced fighters like I am and like the fighters that I've fought, I just, I'm still afraid to take her lightly. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that with anybody. So even though, it looks like it should be this, there should be a fight that I shouldn't have a problem with, I'm not going to go in there and think like that. I'm going to go in there thinking like she's the most dangerous fighter that I've ever faced,
Are you excited to defend this title? Because, you won the Legacy title, but you never had a chance to defend it, and then you won the LFA title, and now this is going to be your first real title defense. Are you excited for that?
I am. And, it seems, even though I wasn't defending my belt the first time that I fought for, LFA, I still felt like that was me defending it because, I was the champion for Legacy, and then, I got to fight for the LFA title. I don't know. Even though it was vacant, it still, to me, it felt like it was still a title defense. So.
Sure.
Even though it wasn't.
I think you earned that, right?
The first time. Yeah, I feel like I did. I mean, after the merger and everything. But this is on paper my first title defense. So I'm excited about it. And I want to keep my belt. So I've been training hard, and I'm going to fight even harder. So.
I know you a little bit about your opponent, as you were just saying earlier about her black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I believe you said brown belt in judo. How do you feel like you match up when you look at your skill set compared to hers?
I feel like I match up just great, actually, because, I've grappled against brown belts in jiu-jitsu competitions, and I mean, even though that's not, I haven't rolled with any black belt females, but I mean, like, I've competed with brown belts, and I have won against brown belts. But I mean, jiu-jitsu and then MMA jiu-jitsu are like, I mean, competition jiu-jitsu and then MMA jiu-jitsu are two totally different things, and I feel like I have more cage experience than she does. And like I've said before, like if you could be a black belt in MMA, I feel like I would probably be a black belt or almost a black belt because I'm so, I'm well-rounded enough in every aspect of MMA. And to me, I think that she's kind of one-sided. I know she's going in trying to take me down. But, I mean, I have great wrestling defense, and I feel like, I want to keep it standing, I can keep it standing, but I also feel confident enough that if it does go to the ground, I can get back to my feet. Or, anytime that punching comes into play, it's a lot harder to think about what it is that you need to be doing on the ground, Right. So,
I don't
know, we'll see.
How important is it going to be for you to hit her with something really hard early, just to kind of maybe like make her a little bit hesitant to get into the pocket and like push those shots like further out? Is that going to be kind of important?
I think so. And I'm a fast starter. I like to get in there, and I like to be the first one. I like to get the first shots in. Because I want them to feel my power and be hesitant, like you were just saying. So I think that is very important. I don't think that she's going to have the power that I have. I think she's used to fighting at 115 actually, and she's smaller than I am, so like shorter than I am. So I think that my reach is going to be difficult for her. And I don't know. I mean, I know I hit hard, so I mean, like you said, that's definitely something that I want to try to establish quick in the first few minutes is, my power.
Definitely. You came into this year, you were 4-2. You've quickly moved to 7-2. At 28 years old, like you're just hitting your prime. Are you feeling that way when you get into the cage? Like, are you feeling like you're just hitting that stride, like you're in the heart of your prime right now?
I do, but at the same time, I don't. I still feel like I'm new at it.
Right.
I still feel like whenever I'm. Because it wasn't that long ago that everybody was calling me, an up-and-comer, a new face of, and like, it was just a couple years ago that I was hearing all that. Now, whenever I step into the cage, it's seasoned vet, and I'm like, when did this happen?
When did I season?
When did I become a vet?
Yeah, fair enough. You've had it, like we were just saying earlier, you've been incredibly active so far in 2017. Like, this is going to be your fourth fight. We're only entering July. What does the rest of the year hold? Are you going to slow down after this fight, maybe take a back, like take a little relaxation, or are you going to stay pedal to the metal, kind of keep it rolling?
Well, after this fight, I do plan on, I think we're going to the beach and we're going to relax a little bit, but I'm probably going to fight again in September or November, so I'm still going to get one or two more fights in before the end of the year.
Wow. That's an incredible activity level.
Huh?
I said that's an incredible activity level. Like, you're staying super active.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot to make up for, and once I'm in the UFC, I'm not going to be able to fight as often. So
true.
Might as well get what I can in.
Very true.
I'm going to be fighting once a year.
One thing I've noticed too is like your team over there, the Karate Mafia, things are rolling for you guys. I mean, you got Andy. She just defended her title. You're over there. You're a champion. Kendrick Williams, I know he's had a really great start to his MMA career. What's going on over there? I think you guys are finally starting to get that recognition as a real high level gym. What's making all the magic over there?
It's just all the coaching and us getting the fights that we need and finally getting to be seen. I mean, we're finally fighting on bigger stages, and I think that helps out a lot. Me and Andy, winning our titles, and us winning our, her fighting for King of the Cage, me fighting for LFA and for Invicta. I just think that helps out a lot. I mean, we're fighting for like two big name promotions, so it's kind of shining the spotlight on not just me and her, but also on our whole camp and our fighters. So they're finally getting the recognition that they need, and I think it's about time.
Definitely. I've been noticing for a little while, but it feels like you're finally got the lights hitting now. Your fights are finally starting to get that recognition. How do you see yourself ending this fight? When you visualize this fight, how do you see it going? A knockout?
Well, that's what I want. That's what, whenever I see myself fighting this fight, I envision a knockout, because that's what I really want.
Right.
But you never know. I mean, like, I wanted to knock out in my last 2 fights, and I got a submission and a freaking decision. So I mean, you never know.
Yeah, true. What kind of feather in your cap would it be if you were able to submit a black belt? Would that be something?
What would it do? I mean, I think that.
No, just for you personally. I mean, would it be a nice feather in your cap? Is it something that you like in your head? You're like, yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that, actually, because because going into this fight, I'm thinking. I mean, I'm trying not to even think about the fact that she's a black belt, and that.
Right.
I need to worry about her ground game, because I'm not that. I don't want to get focused on what it is that she's good at and forget what it is that I'm good at.
Sure.
But I think that it would help and it would look good on my resume to submit a black belt. I feel like it would definitely help out my resume a lot. But that's not my goal. I mean, my goal is to win and get a finish one way or another. So I mean, if the submission opens up and it's there, I'm going to take it.
Absolutely. Listen, I really want to thank you for giving us some of your time. I know the fight's fast approaching. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. Training's heavy. So I really appreciate you making some time for us. And if you want to take a quick second here, if there's any shout-outs you want to make, any sponsors, teammates, anything like that, shoot. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Clement Industries, Vintage Furniture, NutraBio, Iowa Bison, McBride Mat, and Lee's Heating, Air and Electric. And I'd like to thank my coach, my husband, Donnie Aaron, Kendrick Williams, one of my other coaches, also my teammate, and Andy, Wynn, Zach Albrecht, and all my teammates at Karate Mafia, and all of my fans, and my family, and my little Ainsley.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
She's listening to me. She's watching me right now. She's ready for me to get off the phone.
Okay, well.
And I'd like to thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to have you. I always enjoy the conversation, and hopefully we can have you on again after the fight. That'd be great.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you again for your time, and enjoy the rest of your night with Ainsley.
Thank you. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
Take care.
I feel like she's hitting her stride. Like, we're going to see big things from Andrea soon, I think, personally. I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's a strong grappler.
Just to correct you, Jason, it was LFA 16, by the way. I think you said 15 earlier. Just to correct everybody, just in case. You don't want to.
Oh, Jesus, God.
It's okay.
It's 16. My bad.
It's all right. Just make sure that the audience knows it's.
I'm not perfect.
It's LFA 16. No, that's all right. You got a lot on your plate.
All right.
Two-man show.
I always really enjoy talking to Andrea. She's a savage.
Yeah. Another one with the complete package.
Yeah.
Just a no-doubter.
Yeah, and I don't know if her opponent. I don't know if Davina has. I don't know if she's faced the competition to be ready for what's coming her way. That's just the truth. But if she is a black belt, and anything can happen. So we'll see what happens. For everyone else, stay tuned. We're still here. We're going to be back with Levi Mowles. So we're really looking forward to that conversation. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
You pull that heel out wide. Tap. There you go. Nice, Levi.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with Levi Mowles on the line. How you doing, Levi? Welcome to the Fight House, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, no problem, Jason. Nice to be on the show, man. Thanks for having me.
Cool, man. Glad to have you. How's everything, man? How's camp? How's the preparations for the fight been?
Man, going pretty well, man. Me and Johnny and then one of our other teammates are also on the card, so we're in there killing each other every day, scrapping it out, man. It's going really well.
Nice. You know, this is an interesting fight, man. This fight was actually supposed to happen in early 2015, but it was canceled. Does it feel like you're kind of going back to take care of unfinished business?
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's no bad blood towards him at all. It just kind of fell through. He suffered a knee injury, and it is what it is. I mean, eventually we knew we'd fight each other. He's an up and comer. I'm in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? So we eventually knew the fight would come. People want to see it, so it is what it is. No unfinished business, no bad blood or anything. It's just fight was going to happen, and it finally happened.
I'm really looking forward to it, man. You know, at the time when you guys were first supposed to meet, you were both 1-0. He's currently 4-0.
Yes.
Yeah. At the time, he's currently 4-0. Do you get any extra motivation knowing you can take his undefeated record from him?
No. Not anything like that at all. I don't think about it like that. I know one of my teammates does like that. One of his stats is a cool stat. It said he is undefeated against undefeated fighters. I don't really care or relish in anything like that, man. I just like to fight because it's fun.
Right on. This is going to be a quick turnaround for you. He's been on the shelf for just over a year. Do you feel like that could play a factor in the fight?
No. I feel pretty good, man. It is what it is. I work in, even though I take some time off from fights, I'm still in there working every day. I'm knocking the ring rust off in training, so I'm not really all too worried about all that.
True. How do you feel like you match up with him, and where do you feel like your advantages are in this fight?
Honestly, I know he's really explosive and he's got some power behind his hands. I know he wrestled, but then again, I'm also in there striking with elite strikers and grappling with elite grapplers every day. And I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu myself, so it's like, honestly, I feel like as long as I can weather his heavy hands, I'm going to take the fight wherever the fight goes. I feel like in every area, I feel like I have the advantage that it's just his power is a big factor that I got to worry about.
True. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that could fade as the fight goes on?
No, absolutely, and that's. I don't want to say that that's the game plan, but I definitely think as the fight goes on, he's gonna get tired, get more sloppier with his punches, and I just get stronger as the fight goes on. So,
how important is it going to be for you to maybe grapple with him at the start and try to gas out his arms a little bit?
Like I said, I think I feel I can take the fight anywhere. So it's definitely on my mind to grapple with him. I want to see what he's like on the floor and up against the cage and in the clinch. But it is what it is. It's what the opening it's what openings he gives me. I'm going to take the fight where I feel like he's giving me a chance to beat him at. So whether that's in the grappling or the striking, it doesn't really matter. I don't feel like going in there and trying to grapple with him right off the get-go is like a must to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. You've easily faced the tougher competition between the two of you. I was looking on Tapology. It seems pretty clear that you have. Do you feel like that sort of experience with tougher competition could play a factor in the fight in your favor?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing against Miles, but I've just fought killers, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think a big thing that I've always learned throughout training and through fighting is it's trial by fire. You get thrown in the fire, and then either you burn or you come out. You come out alive. So I think like you said, me fighting the heavier, the bigger names and the harder fights is a testament to who I am as a fighter. And I don't think he's been there yet, and I hope to put him through that and see how he comes out during the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You took a loss in your career to Damon Jackson, who was a UFC vet. He had his time in the UFC and stuff. How important was that fight for you to get that under your belt?
I actually had a UFC. I saw a UFC vet in Edwin Figueroa before that fight.
Yeah, that's true.
But so Damon, man, it was what it was. I was literally like at a team party. Like I had a beer and a burger in my hand and got offered the fight on a 2 weeks notice. It was a win-win for me.
Right.
Not in my weight class. He's a UFC veteran. The pay was right. So for me, like the win would have been awesome, man. Like I said, it's a win-win, and the win would have been that much sweeter. But I took the fight with precedence knowing he had a full camp and I had 2 weeks, and I went out there and did my best. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I took it to him.
Definitely was a great fight. Back to Miles. How do you see yourself when you visualize this fight? How do you see this fight going? How do you see yourself winning this fight?
Ooh, I feel like early on in the fight he's going to try to throw and try to land some big shots. I'm going to stay like on the outside, use my movement and tag him. I probably won't hurt him too much on the feet. I don't have that much power in my hands. Everyone says I do, but I don't ever feel like I do. But just pepper him, and then when the opportunity presents itself, I feel like if I want to, I can take him down as well, and definitely I can submit him at any time. So I feel like if I get him on the ground, I think that's my world, and I don't think he wants to go there.
After this fight, you walk out with a victory. What do you want next? Where does your career kind of go after this?
Man, I'm Access TV's ranked number 3 in the 135-pound division. I'm 6-2 as a pro fighter. My 2 losses have come at 145.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm rightfully where I'm supposed to be. Next is hopefully the belt for Legacy. You know what I'm saying? And onward and upward. Hopefully, I get the belt, maybe a title defense somewhere along the line. But hopefully, I get a call up. I want the big league. I want the big money, the big show. I want to get to the UFC.
At 22, you're just a pup still, kind of in the sport. You got so many years ahead of you, so many fights, man.
For sure.
Do you have like a time frame set for yourself? Are you in a rush to get to the UFC, or are you kind of willing to ride it out a little bit?
Not in a rush. Not in a rush, but man, I'm just in even Miles himself. Like we're the new age of fighter, man. Look at Max Holloway just won the 145-pound belt. He's not much older than me. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Sure.
The plan is to get in there and bring a fire and go show the world that Levi Mowles is ready to be in the UFC and be at the top of that division, of the division, So not so much a rush, but I just want people to understand where I'm at and how I see myself. And, if it happens later, hopefully it happens sooner than later, but if it happens later, it's cool. As far as time frame goes, man, I'd like to be in the UFC, probably carrying up the division somewhere in the around 25.
Yeah. Well, 25 is a good number. You'd be just entering your prime at that time. How do you feel like you'd match up when you look at that division? How do you feel like you stack up in the UFC when you look at that?
I definitely see myself, all the lower level obviously there's levels to anything that you do in life, and especially in fighting, there's levels. I honestly, right now, I feel like I can take out most low level pros in the UFC at 135. And I don't know exactly what that number is or who exactly that might be, but I feel like I'm somewhere amongst the mid-level pros, not quite at the top of my, top of my peak yet, but I'm still working on things, still improving. So, like I said, 25 in the UFC. Hopefully, I've sharpened my tools a little bit and heading towards the top by then. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Listen, I look forward just to seeing this fight. I look forward to your career. You're an exciting fighter. You're young, a ton of upside. I want to thank you for making time for us. I know you're busy. The fight's approaching. I'll give you the floor right now. If you want to take a quick minute, any shout-outs, any sponsors, teammates, anything like that, go for it.
Well, absolutely, man. First off, I want to thank y'all for having me on the show, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, all the guys at Fight House, for allowing me to speak my piece on the show, man.
Pleasure's ours.
No, yeah. So, but other than that, I want to thank all my sponsors. Let me think. Styles on Main, they do my hair. Let me think. AC, Greenwood AC and Heating, they sponsor me. NTX Forklifts. I'm trying to go through the list of sponsors right now. I'm sorry if I missed anyone else. But I want to thank all of you guys for your support, whether it be monetary or anything that you do for me. I want to thank my mom and dad. I want to thank my little brother as well. He's a great training partner, but I want to thank them for showing me love and always being there for me. And then also I want to thank my gym and my training partners for pushing me and grinding with me and getting me ready for fights,
Absolutely, man. Thank you again for giving us some of your time. Hopefully we can have you back on the show after the fight. Look forward to that, and thanks again, man.
No problem. Thank you, Jason, and I appreciate it. I'd love to come back on the show. Good having me.
Sweet, man. Look forward to it. Talk to you soon, man.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. Later.
I like that guy. He took a fight. Think of what I'm saying. He's a 135er, takes a fight on 2 weeks' notice against a UFC vet like Damon Jackson and a weight class above him.
Yeah. He also has a fight against a 155-pounder, too.
Yeah, this dude's just tough. Yeah. He just will fight. Yeah. Give me the fight, I'll take it. Not playing it safe. He's not.
Yeah. He does a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, too. I noticed because I was prepping the show, looking at stuff, and it's hard to find the fights, but he has a lot of jiu-jitsu stuff.
Yeah, man. He's a ground. He's an ace. That's for sure. Super, looking forward to the fight, obviously. Yeah. It's going to be a great fight. Miles Johnson's really super tough, too, so should be a good one. Everyone stay with us. It's we still got some more to go. We got Damon Jackson on next. I'm really looking forward to that. Tough UFC vet, tough guy. He's coming off a tough loss to Kevin Aguilar, but I'm sure you're going to see him bounce back with a top-notch performance. We're going to talk to him about that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Lands the head kick, the right hand, keeps the pressure on, recognizes Cheeks is in trouble, ends up getting the fight to the ground after Cheeks dove into him to save himself. Frying pan into the fire again. Jackson here, this is a smart point on the ground for him. Did not stay on his back. Came up on top. Now cinches it in.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with Damon Jackson. He's got a tough fight coming up against Elizar Rodriguez. What's going on, Damon? Thanks for joining us, man, at the Fight House. We really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, I appreciate me on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. How's everything been, man? How's camp going? How's everything?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, it's going pretty solid. Just working through the last little bit of live goes, finishing up this week, all the hard stuff, and then kind of easing into the next week and getting that weight down and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, I noticed you've been training with some killers up at Fortis, man. That's a crazy gym you guys got up there. Lots of talent in there, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of new talent. We got a lot of guys that are popping up that nobody knows them yet. So got a lot of young talent in the room. It's always good. It brings a lot out of the vets. All the guys we have in the gym that have some experience. It keeps us on our toes. So definitely good stuff.
Definitely, man. You're coming off a rough loss against Kevin Aguilar. You're looking to bounce back. You took that fight on really short notice. Do you believe that quick turnaround kind of affected your performance that night?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like, exactly where I wanted to be. But that's definitely not how, I wanted to take the fight. But, I basically, it was kind of like how I looked at it was that, I had the opportunity and I didn't want it to pass up because, he was on a 3-fight win streak. So he could have easily gotten the call up to the UFC and, who knows where he stands with them now or anything like that. He hasn't got signed yet. So, but, he had a, good little win streak and, the timing was decent, except for, I was coming off the fight and coming off the weight cut. That's the only issue I would really say, they kind of got in the way with, having the repeated weight cuts back-to-back kind of messed me up. And then I also had my youngest daughter the week before the fight. So there's a lot going on during that camp. I'm not going to sit here and, make a million excuses, but there's definitely – some differences in the way I was trained for that camp that, normally would never allow. So, I'm just trying to take a step back and, I really just got refocused and went right back to work. I didn't take any time off. I'm feeling good right now. It's not like, I was definitely discouraged because of the way I lost, but losing the fight, wasn't the end of the world for me just mentally because I've got so much better with things that, I've had a lot of weaknesses in the past. So it's, it's been good ever since the release from the UFC. I've just been consistently, training as hard as I could and consistently getting better. So, I'm coming off that fight, just learning my lesson and, moving forward, getting ready for the next one.
Sure. Was it hard to get motivated for another fight after you were in the UFC, then you take the loss to Aguilar on your road back? Was it hard for you to get motivated for this upcoming fight?
No, I would never go into any fight half-assed. The day that I started looking at whether or not I'm motivated to take the fight, then that's the day I'll be done. So, and I hope that day doesn't come anytime soon because, I couldn't imagine going into a fight and not being, 100% focused. I wouldn't allow myself to do that. So, the motivation's there solely based on, just me wanting to prove something for myself. It's not coming off of a loss. Like, I don't have to revenge myself. But, I've done a lot in the sport. I have a lot of experience, and this is just another stepping stone. It's frustrating because, I've got to explain it to other people, and I still got to be around other people that don't really understand exactly what I'm trying to say with it. But, really the biggest thing for me is just reproving to myself that, I am getting better and that things are going good. And the days that I start, second guessing, if I'm improving, then, that's the day I'll be done.
Definitely,
man. We had a conversation before where you just talked about the important thing just being your progression. Like, you didn't care about belts, you didn't care about any of that. It was just about your progression as a martial artist, and I thought that was super cool. Just a really good outlook on it, one you don't hear often. So very commendable for that, man. I love your approach. You have a fight coming up against Elizar Rodriguez. How do you feel about this matchup?
I definitely, it was like, when you get matchups, you always have to kind of like take a step back. You gotta look at film. You gotta do like a real brief, overlook of this, like, what your chances are of, getting the fight where you want it and, winning the fight. You want to get the best matchups. You want to do everything like that. But for me, it was like whenever I got the matchup, they called and they said, "Hey, we're coming back to Dallas this date." I'm like, all right, give me someone. Don't really care. I'm ready to fight. And they went through a little list on their own. They didn't really give me any other names. They gave me his name, and I just said, let's go for it. I looked him up online. He's a scrappy dude. He definitely ready to, trade hands back and forth and do all that crazy nonsense. So, I'm looking to, take a more controlled stance on the fight. So if it means getting down to the ground or keeping him away with the jab, then, I'm ready to go either way. I think he's going to come at real aggressive because, you lose a fight by knockout and everybody thinks that, you're at the end of your career. And, I've been training with these guys, and I really make sure that I'm aware of, like, how my body reacts during training because I feel like you take a lot of damage in training too. So you want to know, if your body's still up for it, and it's kind of one of those things where, I feel 100% confident that, I have no issues as far as, like, weak chin or anything crazy like that. So I think he's going to come out, trying to test me and go a little brawler mode. So if I have to get the fight down on the ground, first round or two, then, I'll do it. And if I have to keep on the feet and keep him, at some distance, I'll do that too. So, I'm ready for the fight, and I'm excited about just getting back in there and, getting the fight close to town, close to my hometown too. So that's always good.
You talked just now about keeping him away with your jab and the importance of getting the fight where you want to get it. You'll have a sizable height advantage, about 6 inches in this fight, I think, and about 4-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
How important is it going to be for you to set that tone early and not allow any of that brawling to take place?
Yeah, very important. I feel like, it's one of the things you come out strong with your strengths, and you want to, like, you want to be aware of, like, where your weakness is, and I'm definitely not the guy that's going to sit there and trade back and forth. I never have been.
Right.
I've been more focused in the past about, just grappling 100%. And, I try to get away from that and, getting those little brawls to make it more exciting. But, at the end of the day, you're getting a paycheck either way. You got to go out there, you got to fight, but you also got to win to get, those big matchups and to get, where you want to be in the sport. So I'm going to come out there, I'm going to control the fight, and right away, I'm going to do it right away. If he comes at me aggressive, I'm going to jab right away. If he goes, too hard at me, I'll level change, take him down, and, I feel confident there. So, I'm going to establish my game plan right off the bat, and I'm going to stick with it.
What do you think you're going to have to do well, as far as, like, we've talked about the reach and stuff, but what do you think you're going to have to control in his game to be successful, to walk out with the W, as far as, like, his skill set goes?
I think a big part of it is keeping that space, like not letting him crowd me out. 'Cause, I do have a reach advantage. I do have, some size advantage on him. So I want to really use that, and you know, I want to use that to the most I can, the fullest, you know. So whatever I come into the fight, you know, I want to be really aggressive on my jab. You know, I'm going to be moving a lot. I'm not going to go right into like a clinch type, you know, fight where we just go right into, you know, trading back and forth. I'm not going to let him, you know, come in and throw any combos and piece me up. So try to keep my head down and just keep moving and, you know, get after it.
Definitely. How when you visualize this fight and you go over it in your head, how do you see yourself finishing the fight?
I see a lot of openings for a big takedown. You know, when I get someone down on the ground, I feel, you know, pretty confident about controlling people. So, you know, I would like to at some point, I see, you know, getting down to the ground and taking his back. I see that happening pretty easy. And then, you know, I also see him like slipping up and overcommitting on his punches too. So, you know, maybe that's my time to, you know, step in and catch him with the overhand right, or, you know, like level change and just, you know, blast one through him. So we'll see. You know, I'm not too sure exactly where the fight's going to go right off the bat. I think he's going to come out aggressive. And that's kind of, you know, that goes a lot. That plays a lot into, you know, where I want to get that finish. But, you know, I could easily see myself taking his back and getting that finish.
You know, what do you want next after this fight? You walk out with a W. Where do you go after that? What are you looking for?
Really, man, it's just, you know, I don't want to get all like cliche, all that nonsense. I just want to keep getting better every fight. And, you know, it's been like years before I felt happy about a fight. And, you know, I was not happy about any fight until I fought Charles Cheeks, you know, a couple of months ago. And I was really happy with that because it was just like, you know, I went out there and I did my game plan, but at the same time I did, you know, some extra stuff that people don't get to see. So, you know, I caught him with a couple of good combos on the feet, caught him with some good kicks, and then, you know, took him down. I ended up getting the submission on him. So it was just a good fight. It was like well-rounded fight for me, and I was really happy. And I just want to be happy with the performances that I give. And, you know, I want to peak at the right time and make sure that, you know, I'm winning the fight and, you know, looking good doing it too.
You know, how excited are you to be, you know, taking a fight with a good camp, with not so many distractions going on? How good does it feel to be getting into the cage with everything kind of where it should be?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You know, I have an awesome camp. We have a lot of young guys that are, you know, just trying to work their way through. It's a lot harder to make it, you know, just like in this last 4 or 5 years, MMA has just grown so much. And, you know, it's really cool to see these guys. Like, they're coming into their first pro fight, and they're already like a, you know, purple belt or maybe even a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And, you know, they have really good boxing, or they have really good kickboxing. Like, so all these guys are really well-rounded early on. And it's just cool seeing people grow up and to, like, go through the whole training camp. And these guys that nobody knows who they are, and they're like, they're pushing you to get through your last couple of rounds through the camp. So it's really cool to have that, you know, solid camp behind you and, you know, really get to push hard for it. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm super impressed with what you guys got going over there at Fortis. It's a stable full of killers, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to thank you for giving us some of your time, man. I know things can get hectic and stuff, and you know, pulled in a lot of different directions. So thank you for making the time for us. And I also want to give you 30 seconds, a minute or whatever for some shout outs, man. If you want to shout out any sponsors or anything like that, get paid. Do your thing.
Yeah. Check out all my social media. I've always got them pulled up on there. That I got Pain Management down in Midland, Texas. Texas Certified Motors, Medical Center Pharmacy. We got W. Brown Enterprises, Cool Car Sales. We got Jackson's Plumbing. You know, going to Indian Nation Wholesale. We got, you know, I got a whole list of people that really pushing me hard. These guys have been with me since I was, you know, amateur going into my pro career. Just because of the way I was training, they all like to see it. And, you know, I grew up with a lot of these guys. These are like, you know, family to me. So I appreciate all their support, and hope you guys check them out. Check it out on social media.
Sweet, man. Hope they do too. And thanks again for giving us time. I really appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Look forward to talking to you again.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Super excited to see what we get from him.
Yeah.
Just to see where he comes back. It was a hard knockout he took against Kevin Aguilar. He got knocked out.
But in this one, he has experience. Like you said, he has the reach. He has, you know, the height, like massive height advantage.
Yeah.
So
Well, and he's got a good record. He's what is it? Hold on. He's 11-2.
2-1.
You know what I mean? 11-2-1. So it's not like he's taking a retarded amount of abuse. And like you said too, like he said, he's never been a guy to just stand and brawl with you.
No.
Like he sticks to what he does.
Sounds like a pretty intelligent.
And he's at Fortis, man. I'm telling you, if you look at the squad at Fortis, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Rashad Coulter's over there. Steven Peterson's over there. Ryan Span's over there. There's a lot of dudes over there. Doing their thing, man. So look out for that camp. It's a high-level camp, man. I'm telling you. Past that, I'm looking forward to the fight. Yep. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be a good one. I suspect it's going to end up on the ground. I imagine that his experience is going to come into factor, and it's going to be should lean him in his direction, I think.
LFA 16.
LFA 16. LFA 16. It's terrible. There's so many of these events, man. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Listen, stay with us. Next up, we got Jimmy Flick. Second last interview of the evening. It's going to be a good one. I really look forward to talking to him. He's got a big fight coming up against Johnny Bedford, another UFC vet. So we're going to talk to him about that and what that could mean for his career. Look forward to it. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute. What's up, Fight House fans? We're back with Jimmy Flick. He's getting set to take on Johnny Bedford at LFA 16. It's going to be a great fight. What's up, Jimmy? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, always, man. Happy to have you. How's everything going, man? How's camping? How's your prep? How's everything going?
Everything's going great, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. Don't have a big weight cut for this fight, so I'm going in there just pushing my cardio right now, making sure I'm ready to go 3 5-minute rounds of war, ready to go out there and put it on Johnny Bedford and get my redemption. I lost to Levi Mowles, and they're big training partners, and want to go out there and showcase my skills and show them that Levi wasn't me when I fought Levi.
Fair enough, man. And one thing I was reading was that Legacy was having a hard time finding an opponent for Johnny, and then days later it was you. You were announced. How did this fight fall into your lap?
Facebook, man. I was sitting on Facebook, and they said nobody will fight Johnny Bedford.
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody asked me. So told them I'd fight Johnny Bedford. I'd love to, and I never hesitated. They sent me a contract. I agreed to it immediately. Took me some time to get the contract because they wanted to see if anybody else was going to take the fight. And none of these guys want to step up and fight for the biggest company outside of the UFC, and I'm the only one that had the balls to do it.
Well, what made you so eager to take the fight with them? I mean, they were struggling to find Johnny Bedford a fight. No one wanted it. So what made you jump at it?
Yeah. The opportunity. I mean, it's LFA. I'm 9-3. I just won the XFM 135 title. Got back on my win streak, and if I could go out there and take out somebody like Johnny Bedford, he's on a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
If I go out there and take out Bedford, I feel like that puts me on a 4-fight win streak. I'm going to take his win streak, and I'm going to put it on my record, and everything that happened with Levi will be in the past, and then I'm going to move forward, and I want to see what LFA will offer me, and I'm game to fight anybody. They also asked if I wanted to fight Chris Gutierrez. I said, give me a contract, and they finally sent me Johnny, and I accepted.
This is the second time now you brought up the fight with Levi. Does that eat at you still?
Say it again.
I said it's the second time you've brought up the fight with Levi Mowles. Does that eat at you still? Does that bother you the way that went down?
Yeah, a little bit, man. I had a lot of issues and stuff, and I mean, I don't go to social media or, to interviews and stuff and complain about what happened and why it happened. And I mean, the fact of the matter is I sold over $4,000 in tickets. Regardless of what was going on in my life, I was showing up and fighting that night, and that's what I did. And I feel like now I got this opportunity to fight Johnny Bedford. I don't have as much going on at the time as I did, and I've had a great 5.5-week training camp. Almost 6 weeks will be taking short notice considering nobody wanted to fight Bedford. So, I mean, it's hard to swallow, man, because I feel like it's a fight I really could have won. I feel like I should have won, but I had a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like Johnny Bedford's the perfect match for me.
Johnny, he's a guy with a lot of experience. He's kind of been there and done that when it comes to MMA. Where do you feel like you have advantages in this fight?
I just feel like I got more heart. I'm a lot younger than Johnny. I don't have nothing to lose. I mean, Johnny ain't fought in Texas in 8 years, and or at least in Dallas, and he's got to fight a guy like me that's already lost to his teammate, so he's supposed to beat me. Johnny's supposed to make easy work of me, and he's supposed to get a win, and he's supposed to make his way back to the UFC, and I'm coming in to spoil that. That's my game plan.
How do you see the fight ending when you visualize it? How do you see you winning this fight?
There's a lot of ways I think I can win the fight. It's just whatever I go out there and do, and how Johnny reacts, how I react, and we're just going to see what happens. You know, I got a game plan, but, I feel like they're going to expect me to have a different kind of game plan, and I feel like I'm going to mix things up, and I'm going to throw some things at them that they haven't seen, and I'm excited. Like I said, win, lose, or draw. For me, it's a win-win. Not so much for Johnny, you know. Like I said, if Johnny loses this fight, he's starting all over. You know, he's on a 4-fight winning streak out of the UFC. He can't lose, you know. So I got everything in my power, you know. But the worst thing about it is I can't even get tickets from my own people. I'm trying to get tickets, and they won't even let me have tickets. They want my people to go order them online, and my people can't even sit together. That's kind of messed up. So I'm pretty irritated with some stuff. But like I said, I took the fight on short notice too, and I'm coming in to get that upset in Dallas, Texas.
Why can't you get tickets? I see everybody online with the tickets.
Yeah, everybody online for tickets. I've been trying to get tickets for 2 weeks now, and they won't give me tickets. I don't know what the deal is. They're sold out, besides if I go on the Bomb Factory. And the only ones on the Bomb Factory, standing room only, are the expensive tickets right now. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I feel like I should get that out there, man. I'm pretty disappointed in that. You know, like you said, I'm the only one stepping up to fight Bedford. Nobody wants to fight Bedford. He's called out everybody in Michigan, everybody in Texas, all these guys. I mean, you've seen the post. There's over 100 comments on there, and at least 30 people have said they would fight him. But when the contract got sent out, I was the only one to sign.
Right. It's kind of weird to me that they wouldn't send you tickets. It's kind of how their whole operation runs, is like you guys unloading tickets, right? It's kind of...
It kind of frustrates me because, you know, I'm coming from Oklahoma.
Sure.
I mean, I got a good handful of people that want to come with me, and I'd like them to all sit together. You know, we're coming into enemy territory, you know, and like I said, I plan on leaving with my hand raised, you know, and it's not the first time I came down there and had problems with Texas. You know, I came down there and fought Will Capizano for the Legacy title 4 years ago, and, oh, man, there was some drama. I ended up losing that fight, and with that, I've still been chasing Jason Sampson too. You know, I've been wanting Sampson for a long time, you know, and there's a reason for that, and he knows why. And I'll get Sampson eventually, and I want him at 125, but Sampson's been picking and choosing his opponents.
Fair enough. You know, you seem
topic, but
yeah, you seem slightly. Is this a little extra fuel to your fire as you prepare for this fight? It seems to like I feel an energy from you, kind of like is this fueling you?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, man, I accepted the fight. When they posted on Facebook that they wanted somebody to fight, I didn't know a date. I had my daughter literally a week before I accepted the fight. I didn't know when it was, but I told them I'd fight Johnny Bedford, and they're like, oh, it's July 14th. I said, bet, I'll do it. I don't care. I said, I'll fight him. I will fight him. And then it took me 2 weeks to be able to announce that I could fight him. Held me off on sponsorship lure a little bit, and it's been a struggle, man, leading up to this, man. They haven't been in contact with me, and it's kind of a bummer, you know. And like you said, I feel like they don't want me to win, but I feel like that's going to happen, you know. Like you said, I got a lot of extra energy, and I ain't got nothing to lose, man, you know. And I'm coming to prove that.
One of the things that, like, the bonus of this is for you is that Johnny's big game hunting. You know what I mean? That's a big name. He's coming off. He's been in the UFC. Everyone knows who he is. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this fight, more than usual. How important is an impressive performance for you in this fight?
Oh, it's very important. Like I said, I mean, it's everything for me. You know, this is the biggest opportunity of my career. Like I said, people ain't going to know me. People don't even know me. You know, they're already overlooking, oh, Johnny's about to go get this win against whoever this Flick guy is. You know, I might only be 9-3, but I'm a Bellator veteran. I'm undefeated in Bellator. I was 0-0 when I fought Humberto De Leon, which went to a decision with Johnny Bedford about 5 years ago. And, I mean, I've been fighting as an underdog for most of my fights. I've had a few fights where people pulled out, and I fought some guys that didn't have good records, but I've never really picked my opponents. I've always took what's been brought to me, and I've had some problems in the past where I should have took fights that I didn't, and I'm not going to let that happen no more. I'm 26 years old. I got 2 kids, and I got a dream I'm chasing, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now.
You know, one thing I've noticed when I first pulled up your Tapology page and I was trying to, you know, familiarize myself with you a little bit, you've had a ton of canceled fights, maybe more than anyone I've ever seen. You almost didn't fight for almost 2 years because of canceled fights.
See, the thing is about Tapology, man, is it'll say that there's fights on there that I've never even signed contracts for, man.
Okay.
They put stuff on there that's like a verbal agreements, or the promoter, like I was supposed to fight this guy that they said Nick Bella. Well, Nick Bella, the fight never even got approved because he was 0-1 and weighed 115 pounds, but Tapology's got it on there. Randy Villarreal pulled out on me one time, and then they put fights on there that's never even been booked, man. But I did go through a string of one time where I had surgery, I hurt my knee, I had some family issues and stuff like that. And that's what I said. I made a bunch of, you know, decisions when I was younger that came back in my past and kind of haunted me, where I had fights with legacy, and I pulled out based on, you know, issues, or which I thought I was in the right and I deserved this or that for certain reasons, and I was in the wrong, and it backfired on me, and it put me out for a while. And then now I got these opportunities, and I'm going to take all of them. You know, I've been taking every opportunity. I went to New Mexico and fought in the hometown favorite in New Mexico and King of the Cage, and you can see it's a loss on my record, but you can't see no video out there where I had his back for 9 minutes of a 15-minute fight and lost by unanimous decision. You know, but there's nothing I can do about that. So I got a 9-3 record because of a loss in somebody else's hometown. I fought in 3 different states, and I'm game to fight, you know, and if some fights fall through, people know that, you know, and it happens. But Tapology, you know, I wouldn't believe it all, you know, because most of those fights I never even signed contracts for.
You know, Johnny Bedford's a big name. What would a win over Bedford do for your career?
A win over Bedford will give me the options to do whatever I want. I feel like I might have an opportunity at Bellator again. Like I said, I'm still undefeated in Bellator. I feel like if I can beat Johnny Bedford, I can call out those bigger names that I want to fight. I would love to fight Joe Warren. I just feel like I match up good against Joe Warren. He's a wrestler. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. A lot of people don't know about my stand-up because I haven't used it in my fights. And I'm at a point in my career where I feel like I'm progressing, and I'm going to try to put all my tools together, and I just got to start with Johnny Bedford. And we'll see what happens from there. But if I beat Bedford, I feel like everybody's going to be knocking on my door. I'm like a freshman, you know, I'm about to go to college and got everybody wanting me.
Sweet, man. Listen, I'm really looking forward to this fight. I was super impressed when you took the fight, just because I had, like you, I had read on Facebook, like, you can't find nobody to fight Johnny Bedford. So I have all the respect in the world for you for jumping up and taking that fight without care. I'm looking forward to it, and I want to thank you for giving us some of your time here at the Fight House, because I know you're a busy guy. So I really appreciate that. Oh, yeah. And if you want to take a quick minute, man, you want to shout out any sponsors, any coaches, friends, anything like that, shoot, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me on here and promoting the fight. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to all my gyms, Thunderkick Fitness and Sheepdog Jiu-Jitsu. My sponsors, Tulsa Plastics. Trying to find all of them, make sure I get them all. Big Elks, Fighting for Autism, Aggression Compound Apparel out of Corpus Christi, Texas, I got the Elks Lodge here in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. They're going to be holding the fight for me. While my family and friends that can't make it down will be able to watch it up here. And just all my training partners and everybody that supports me and believes in me to go down here and get this upset in Dallas, Texas, baby.
Hey, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Best of luck when you step in the cage, friend, and all the best.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
He's confident. He seems pissed.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? Like, did you vibe?
I got a little bit of the Chael Sonnen vibe from him a little bit. Just like, talking about how people, no one's signing the contract, and he signs every contract that, it's going to come towards him from here on out. It's like, seems like a pretty, he said like he turned down some opportunities and he was trying to maybe being a little bit of a prima donna there, but it doesn't seem like you can be that way. The promoters just will hound you, and then they won't give you the opportunities if you don't play ball.
Yeah, man, listen, Colin Cantrell put it out there on Facebook. I believe it was Colin Cantrell. I'm pretty sure. He put it out on Facebook, and literally, man, like, they were saying, like, we can't find anyone to fight Johnny Bedford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And, like, a few people came up, but obviously, like, he was the most, he sold it, right? He sold them on himself. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. And, these fights I'm always inclined to, like, go with that underdog in this one because, it's just, like he said, he got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Everything to gain.
Bedford's got the size advantage, though, the reach.
He does have a size advantage.
Be difficult, but
he's got to get inside.
Motivated.
He's got to get inside. He's got to take him to the ground. Sub him. His jiu-jitsu's solid.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, We'll be back with our last interview of the night. We got Matt Bessette on the phone to talk about his upcoming fight on Dana White's Contender Series with Kurt Holobaugh. They're going to main event week 1. Should be an interesting conversation. CES featherweight champion, I believe. Yeah, I think it was featherweight, yeah. So we'll be back with Matt Bessette. So hold the line. It's going to be a good one.
When it came to experience, but the power of Bessette, the accuracy, and just overall game of Bessette was too much for him. But Trujillo really did put on a courageous fight, Mike.
Bessette sending a message to the UFC loud and clear that he is the best featherweight not in the world's biggest promotion, and it's time for him to get called up.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back. We got Matt Bessette on the line who's getting ready to headline Dana White's Contender Series week 1 in his fight with Kurt Holobaugh. What's going on, Matt? Thanks for coming to the Fight House. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. How's everything been? How's camp going? How's prep?
Camp is going great, man. A couple of weeks ago, I had a little scare with my MRI results, but after that, it's smooth sailing.
What was the scare?
It's kind of a long story, but I'll keep it a little shorter. Mm-hmm. The MRI results came back, and they said something kind of whack, They said I pretty much had brain damage.
Oh, wow.
In two parts of my brain. And so I had to get it checked off by a neurologist. And then I brought it to a neurologist. The neurologist, without looking at the scans, he said, if these are the results, the actual results on the scans when I look at them, then there's no way you can fight again. You're done fighting. Because he said I got brain damage in the front and the back of my head and blah, 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 blah. He's like, but hold off because sometimes the radiologists are wrong. Let me check over the scans. A couple of days later, he checks over the scans. He calls me back, and he's pretty much like, Matt, they're bogus. They're bogus because the findings are, I don't see anything on these scans. You're completely fine. You're completely healthy. Long story short, the radiologist messed up bad. So for 5 days, I thought I was done fighting, and that my entire life was just completely changed overnight. And now I'm good, though.
What was that like, man? What were those 5 days like?
What's that?
I said, what were those 5 days like, man?
Oh, it was hell, man. It was absolutely hell. It was probably the lowest I've been as an adult. It's probably the worst news I could have received at that time, other than a family member being ill or something like that. I mean, I thought that my life was going to be cut short at a certain point. I wouldn't be able to live out my older days.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to look at my grandkids. I wouldn't be able to. I thought everything changed outside of fighting. There were other things going through my head, like, how is this going to affect my everyday life? So it was, those 5 days were really, really rough.
Yeah, I mean, like past fighting, we're talking about like your life here, right? So I mean, it's way bigger than just the fight game. So I'm really glad to hear that everything came back and you're good to go. That's really good news, man, and I'm happy for you and your family. Definitely, I imagine that you are. Now that you can put that behind you, though, you got a huge opportunity here with the Contender Series. You squared off with Kurt. When did you find out about the fight with Kurt?
When did I find out?
Yeah.
Probably like 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, as soon as I found out, they were like, actually what happened was 2 days 2 days before I got the call, Sean Shelby was talking to my manager and pretty much said that we don't want Matt on the Contender Series because we want him as a last minute replacement. He's kind of, it's really not for him. This show is not for him. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll be the last minute replacement guy for the UFC. I'll just make sure I'm always a little light and I'm always in shape. Fine. I've been doing it for 2 years. And then 2 days later, they call me and tell me that they want me to be on the show and that Kurt Holobaugh is my opponent. And I'm like, Kurt's a killer, and he's been in the UFC. This is a huge deal. So, and then they tell me that I'm in the headline, and I'm like, okay. Trying to put 2 and 2 together here. And what it's telling me is pretty much the winner of me and Kurt is going to be the guy that they either call on for the last minute replacement or they sign us right out to the UFC or something like that. They're probably going to do something big like that, after this fight. So, it's definitely a big deal. I feel like this fight is bigger than, say, an undercard fight for the UFC would be, just because it's actually in front of Dana. It's the very first Contender show there is, and it's headlined.
Does that give you nerves? Like knowing you're fighting in front of Dana, like all this is on the line when you're starting to feel all that and you're soaking all that in. What does it do with your nerves?
I don't think so. I think it's the opposite, man. I think I've been doing this for so long, and this will be my 30th fight, and I've been doing this for so long that, like, this is what I've wanted. So I think I've had nerves when I fought guys that I feel like I shouldn't have to fight because I'd run over them, and then I end up beating them, and it's like, yeah, well, I was supposed to beat them anyway. Whatever. I get nerves when I fight down. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas when I fight up, or when I have, when the stakes are raised, I feel like I do much better because there's less on my shoulders, and I can just go out there and just, paint.
Yeah, this is actually when I saw this fight, I was like, man, am I looking forward to this fight? Like, just the stylistically, this is a great fight. What's everything being on the line makes this a great fight. How do you feel about the matchup itself with Kurt?
I think it's a great fight for me. Stylistically, I think it's a phenomenal fight. Kurt, where Kurt excels, I also excel. A lot of his finishes are repetitive. He kind of gets the same finish more often than not. He's got a good guillotine. I've seen him hit a armbar, a triangle. He's kind of got a lot of stuff off his back. But I've had submissions everywhere, off my back, on top, and scrambles, this, that, the next thing. I've gone for arms, legs, the neck. So if it goes to, like, the ground and there's scrambling and there's jiu-jitsu being played, I feel like I have a leg up there. In the striking, I feel like I've been trying to strike in fights a lot more than he has. So, honestly, it might be a little favorable to me, but I feel like my striking is better as well.
This is going to be a pretty quick turnaround for you. Do you prefer that, or would you prefer like a little bit more time between fights?
I prefer quick turnarounds, actually. I'd rather just keep fighting. If you look at I think I fought like 10 times in the past 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I stay really active, so I think people that need training camps are the people that are too weak to actually stay in shape. So I'm always in shape. I'm always training. I should have been in the UFC years ago, just based upon how professional I am. In a sense, how important this life is to me. So, I'm knocking on the door, and I'm taking the W home on July 11th.
Kurt made the move from featherweight up to lightweight. He's been fighting there for a little bit. He just won the Titan lightweight interim title. Now he's going to be having to drop back down to featherweight to fight you. Do you feel like that could be an advantage for you?
I don't know. I don't look into those things. I just know what he's good at, and I try to capitalize on certain things. But I also know what I'm good at, and I don't try to look at that stuff because more often than not, it doesn't play. So there's no use wasting your time on what if he's a little slow or a little sucked out or whatever. You could see his cheekbones at weigh-ins, whatever. None of that really makes sense. So,
how do you see yourself ending the fight when you visualize things? How do you see the fight going down?
He's going to be hard to finish. He's going to be hard to finish, I'll tell you that much. He's never been finished. So, the person I am goes, oh, he's never been finished. I'm going to get this finished. But, I see a lot of great exchanges standing. I see a lot of great scrambles. I see me fighting off submissions, him fighting off submissions. And, I'd like to get the finish one way or the other. So, but I see an outstanding fight. And I see that if this were in the UFC, we'd be both getting $50,000 performance bonuses. And I think Dana saved himself quite a bit of money just by putting this on the Contender Show.
That's exactly how I feel. That's what I'm saying, man. When I saw this matchup, I was like, this is going to be good. There's no way that this fight is anything less than entertaining. I can't imagine a reality where that isn't the case.
Yeah, for real. Dana saved himself some money.
Yeah.
They did a great job at matching the main event for the first one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. When you look at the UFC's featherweight division, where do you feel like you stack up in that division?
It's crazy, man. Like, I hate when I hate listening to people talk about themselves. I hate it. I hate talking about myself. But like in interviews, you gotta talk. You gotta talk about yourself, and you gotta be honest. And honestly, I feel like I could beat anybody in that featherweight division on any given day. And it's just because I'm not Chad Mendez. I don't get out of shape in between fights. And even if they call you on 2 weeks' notice, you gas after 2 rounds with Conor. I'm not that guy. I don't gas. I take it extremely serious. I'm not I'm not a guy who gets too heavy.
Hold on. We just lost Matt Bessette, but we'll have him back on the line.
We complete your long
Stay with us. Give us 1 second.
To avoid this message, please dial 1 before a 10-digit long-distance number. Thank you.
I'll just morph it.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Matt? Sorry about that, man. We dropped the line there.
Yeah, that was lame. I got full service here. What are you working with over there?
I got full service, man. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure, to be honest. But sorry about that, man. Continue on with what you were saying.
I'm not quite sure exactly where I was.
You were talking about the current landscape in the featherweight division. You were saying you're not Chad Mendez. You're not going to gas after 2 rounds, and you don't get too heavy in between fights, and that's where we cut off.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm always in shape. I'm always really confident. I know how I'm training. I've been to many different gyms around North America, and I know what it takes to be in that kind of shape, at that kind of level, and I'm there, and I'm better than a lot of them. So at this point, it's just getting the opportunity, and I finally have the opportunity. So I got to get past Kurt, which is he's a big stepping stone, but he's got to be a stepping stone because I'm not stopping at Kurt. I got a featherweight division I need to tear apart in the UFC.
True. At 32 years old, you're right in your prime still. You're peaking. Do you feel like do you have any pressure on you to feel like this is my kick at the can at the UFC? Like this is my one shot?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how that is. I don't. If I knew the answers to things, then I either would have given up a while ago, or I would have, called Sean Shelby myself or something. But I just been staying active and winning, and whatever happens, happens.
How good did it feel when you were sitting in at the UFC headquarters, you're signing paperwork here in Vegas? Did it start to feel really real, like that level, reaching that level?
Yes, it's very cool. it's just like, something you've worked so hard at for so long, and, finally you're getting recognized by the people that you wanted to recognize you.
Definitely, man. Listen, like I said, I'm so looking forward to this fight. It's going to be an amazing fight. 2 champions from 2 different promotions. I'm so looking forward to it. I want to thank you for giving me.
I can guarantee that every single time I fight, you're going to see something new, and you're going to see something fun. And I'm not that kind of guy that goes out there and shoots a takedown and tries to hold on top, or tries to jab you out for 15 minutes and keep you away. I get in a fight, and when they say fight, I get in a fight, and I make it ugly sometimes. So it's going to be exciting. Everybody's going to like it, and you are absolutely right to be excited for it.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. Listen, before we let you go here, man, I want to give you a chance to shout out any sponsors, any friends, teammates, anything like that. Take a minute, man. The floor is yours. Shoot.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's helped me out for this fight and, every fight, because this is 30 fights. Everybody at Underdog MMA, Ascension MMA in Connecticut. I've traveled all around the Northeast in New England to train with guys at Sit Yun Tong, with guys out in Boston. I trained at Loza MMA, which I've done for the past couple weeks for this fight. I've trained at Y Crew in Boston. I've trained at New England Combat and Triforce in Rhode Island. So I've gone all around, and those guys have always opened their doors to me and made me feel like one of them. So big shout out to everybody in New England that's let me through the doors. And this fight is not just for me; it's for everybody in New England.
Sweet, man. Listen, I want to thank you for your time. I know you're super busy, man, and you made time for us, so I'm really appreciative of that. And hopefully we can talk to you again after the fight, man, and get your feelings about it.
Absolutely, man. Give me a call after.
Sweet, man. Will do. Enjoy the rest of your evening, bro.
All right, peace.
All right.
You too.
Best fight on the card, easily.
For sure.
Easily, definitely the right spot at the headliner.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's just when they made the Ultimate Fighter for DJ and they brought all the champions in. They really, I think that's probably Dana looking back on it was like, no, I should have done this. I should have had 2 guys fight each other, then 2 other guys fight each other. You know what I mean? Instead of drawing it out, instead of just wasting all this talent. You know what I mean? You're gonna bring in all these different guys, and maybe they have a bad night. This way, you can bring in.
Well, this is the same thing boxing did. Boxing had the contender. They're kind of that's where this whole idea kind of came from.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is just a really good way of getting a breath of fresh air in some of these divisions.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice where a lot of these fighters come from: heavyweights, flyweights,
yeah,
featherweights. We have a few, right? But there's a lot of them are like bantamweight, flyweight.
It's super necessary when you have. It's almost disrespectful to be like, okay, we're just going to bring in all these champions, and they're all just going to fight, in 4 times in a matter of a couple months. Whereas this is a little more respectable, where you can bring it in, you can have a little small, little mini contender series, and then it's more of you're respecting the fighter and what they've accomplished already in their career. You're not just throwing them at the gauntlet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great night tonight. We had a lot of good guys on, man. I was
speaking of gauntlets.
Yeah, super impressed with the card we put together tonight. So really happy with the way the show went down, and I'm so looking forward to so many of these fights.
Yeah.
Johnny Bedford versus Flick, Jimmy Flick. It's gonna be an amazing fight.
Yeah.
This fight's gonna be awesome. Bessette and Holobaugh. I can't wait for it. So, everyone stay tuned. These are gonna be great fights. We're back next week. We got the lineup next week's awesome. We're gonna have Brent Primus. He's gonna come and talk about his win over Chandler, the new lightweight Bellator champion.
I was out of my seat. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's gonna come and talk to us. He's got some feelings about the way Chandler's handled his defeat. We're gonna talk about that. We got Sean O'Malley coming back on. He's getting ready for the Contender Series.
Super dynamic that guy is.
Oh yeah, really looking for that guy. Yeah. Ton Lee, Lazar Stojadinovic. Yeah. I can never pronounce it, man, until I have to. I ace it before he comes on, Sorry, Lazar. Yeah, we got a lot of really good guys, man. So next week's going to be a great show, too. And I want to thank all you guys for joining us. This is it's another good week. And this was me, Jason Sutcliffe, with
Tristan Keddy.
Did need a reminder this week.
All right.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Tune in next week. It's going to be a great show. Have a great night. Peace out.